We are officially back from the Wisconsin Dells. It was the best time, just such great R&R for me and my husband and the kids. But it made me think of a story I've never shared publicly before, but a couple years ago I was at Trapper's Turn Golf Club, which is like this country club in the Dells. And the people that I was eating with, they said, "Paige, do you want to meet the owner of the Kalahari? He's here." And I was like, "Yeah, that sounds awesome. Where is he?" I'm looking around at the different tables, and then they point to a man who's bringing in trays of food from the kitchen, setting them on the buffet. He looks like an employee of this country club. Turns out that was the owner and the founder of the Kalahari. So he comes over to our table. His name was Todd Nelson, introduces himself, and he says, "Yeah, if I'm at an establishment that I own, I just can't help but be serving." And that really stuck with me, just that humility, right? But years later, I actually connected with Todd, with this owner of the Kalahari, and did an hour-long Zoom with him where he told me his life story, because we almost did a project together, which ended up not coming to fruition. But he told me how he grew up in a trailer and he would spend his weekends going to the dump and finding things that he could sell, literally to make money. I mean, you'd think that the man who owns the Kalahari, like practically a billionaire, grew up with a silver spoon in his hand, but that wasn't the case at all. He said that he just gave his life to God, said yes, and then trusted God with the outcome. And he did scary things. He just had to trust. And I want to encourage you that maybe sometimes you feel like you're like in a trailer, so to speak, or maybe you're like in the dump, so to speak, in your life, in your marriage. I want to help you shift your mindset. This morning I was reading Romans 1 about how God gives us an authority so that when he works in our lives, then we can point to him and give God the glory. And so I want to encourage Christian wives that when we look in our own backyard, just like Todd did, he looked in his own backyard of the Wisconsin Dells to see, how can I make this better? In our own backyard, so to speak, of our marriage, how can we make it better by being a light, not for our own sake, but for God to get the glory, right? Because I believe that you do have authority in Christ. It can be so easy for me to live timid and to almost be fearful in my Christianity that God can't actually use me, right? But I believe that God can use you. And he can use me, and I believe that the best is yet to come for you, Christian wife. If this is resonating with you, shoot me a message, or feel free to check out irresistiblewife.com. The best is yet to come for you, just like it was for Todd. God bless, and talk soon.